part of my X is missing? I have no idea. Okay. Hello and welcome to the 2019 Golden Lock Award. We've rebranded this year and we got a new logo.
We are roomescapeartist.com. We are Lisa and David Spira, and we've been covering the escape room industry since 2014. We publish daily tips for players, tips for designers, reviews of escape rooms and related products. We write industry commentary, and more recently we've been running escape room tours and an escape room convention. More about that in a little bit. We've played a lot of escape rooms. We've played over 850 escape rooms. We've played in many states and many countries. I think it's 12 countries and 26 states and the District of Columbia. And we've really loved playing everywhere that we've traveled.
Every year, at the end of the year, we take a look at the games we've played and we give an award to the games that we had the most fun in. We're not claiming that these are the best. We personally believe that the notion of best is not particularly helpful. But we do want to honor the games that are producing great times for us. Now, we set up some rules for this award. And these rules have changed a little bit this year. The first is that we have no arbitrary maximum or minimum for the number of games that can win. We're not setting this at a top 10 or a top 20. It is the number of games that we feel deserve it, or is the number of games that get it. No company can win more than one time per year. It's just a rule we've set to make sure that we're not giving the same companies half a dozen awards, because that might happen under certain circumstances. We have published a safety rubric at the beginning of the year, and we have graded every single game that we have played this year. What we decided was that any game that earned less than an A rating was no longer going to be eligible for the Golden Lock Award. We're taking this really seriously. It also ties in with the rebranding and dropping the lock-in part of the award. And finally, we made another small change, and that is that either of us had to have played in the calendar year 2019. It used to be that we both had to play, and we felt that we needed to honor certain games because they were great, and we didn't want to punish them because one of us wasn't able to make it to it. So without further ado, I'm going to present the 2019 Golden Lock winners.
So we're going to start with a room that isn't going to be a surprise to anyone. When we traveled to the Netherlands this year, we got to play at Escape Room Netherlands, and we got to play their newest game, which is the Dome. The Dome puts you in a hallucination. It is crazy. The set they've built, the tech that they're using to do this, and when they change sets in this game, any transition, you could literally be anywhere. And it's sort of a marvel that this game even exists. So our first winner this year is the Dome.
Next up, we have Dark Park in Zoetermeer, also in the Netherlands. We played it a day apart from the Dome. It was a good couple of days. We are huge, huge fans of Dark Park. We reviewed 4 of their games in the previous year and gave one a Golden Lock Award. And we had the same critique for every single one of their games, and that was that we loved what they were doing, but we didn't really like the way they ended their games. Well, their most recent game is called The End. And it's all about endings. It starts in a funeral parlor, and it explores ends in a whole bunch of different ways. It is an immersive journey. It's kind of haunting. It's incredible. And the ending, well, I'll just say Dark Park figured that out.
And so that winner is The End. We want to applaud for these games. We have a live audience here with us tonight, so we want them to get to applaud for this.
None of this is rehearsed.
Also on that trip to Europe, when we were in the Netherlands, we visited Germany as well, and we visited Hidden in Hamburg. We played a lot of really wonderful games in Hamburg. But Hidden in Hamburg had a really special one, and that game was Neptune's Curse. And this game takes place in an actual ship that is actually docked in the water, and the game is built into the layers of the ship, and the puzzles traverse different layers, and you climb up and down, and this could never have been built in any other space. It's unique, and it's really special and really fun to play. So a winner for this year is Neptune's Curse.
Next up, we have Crypto Escape Room in Newmarket, Ontario, Canada. This is outside of Toronto. It's a little bit of a hike, and I promise you it is worth it. This is the game that we changed the rules for because Lisa was unfortunately not able to play it. I felt so strongly that it needed to be honored that we just ripped up the old rule. The game is Below Zero. Below Zero it's a narrative-driven. The narrative is just as strong as the puzzles, and the space is incredibly cool. What makes this game, I think, is so special for me is that the puzzles feel like they have to be there. Like, of course they were there, because that's what the story was demanding. The game had character. It was just aesthetically incredibly pleasing. We laughed. We thought about things. It was all just a really good time. So that's Below Zero.
Our next winner is from a little bit closer to home. In Boston, Massachusetts, there's a company called Boxaroo. And Boxaroo has won an award before for their very first game. Now, their newest game is this year's winner, and it is The Storyteller's Secret, which is a serene adventure through a novelist's imagination. It has a pretty small footprint as a game, but it feels really big. It takes you to different places. The interactions are really cool. It's intimate, but it's still really adventurous, and it's just a really polished game. And we truly loved it, and so a winner is The Storyteller's Secret.
And speaking of Boston, Massachusetts, we're hosting a convention there later this year, August 23rd and 4th. We're going to be hosting the Reality Escape Convention. This is our first convention. It's a new style of event. We're trying to produce an event focused on escape room creators that is immersive in and of itself. We are going to have top-notch speakers who are vetted by us, who are delivering talks that have been written well in advance of them delivering it, and not just finished the night before, and they're not sure how long it's going to run. We're going to be fact-checking. We're going to be making sure that rhetorically it makes sense and works and is entertaining and engaging to listen to. And then we also have a number of different dynamic ways that we're going to be incorporating the audience into every single aspect of this experience. We think we've got something really special going on, and if this sounds like something that you'd be interested in, we would love to host you. You should come on out to Boston. You can play Boxaroo. We'll introduce you to a whole bunch of other games and some phenomenal speakers from all over the world who are going to be coming on out. And going to announce that one of the speakers that we're going to have is Errol Elmer from the Room Escape Divas. Errol gives some really excellent talks on puzzle design. We found that talks about the finer points of puzzle design are generally hard to come by. And he really knows his stuff. He designs puzzle hunts. He's designed all manner of puzzles. He's super entertaining to talk to and listen to, and I know he's going to put on a real good show for everyone. Tickets are available now for Recon. You can go to realityescapeconvention.com, and we'll be happy to send you a ticket through there. If you have questions, you want to sponsor, you want to be a vendor, we got all the answers that you're going to want. Next up, we have The Last Defender. And The Last Defender is a hybrid of theater, escape rooms, and a puzzle hunt. It's a really big event for 16 people. It's a dark comedy set against a Cold War nuclear deterrence story. It's kind of heavy while also being hilarious. And the puzzles are challenging and engaging, and it's just a good time. We saw it in Denver, but it has gone back home to its original home in Chicago. And if you have a chance to play it, I would highly recommend you do so. It's cool.
The next winner is from California. We had been recommended by a lot of people to get to Sacramento to visit Enchambered. And these people were all right. Enchambered has phenomenal games. We debated which of their games was going to win this award, and the winner is The Legend of the Skull Witch. This game has a brilliant opening and a lot of really cool moments. It's a game of discovery, of places and changes, and Enchambered has built some really neat mechanisms into this game. It's really cool, it's really exciting, it's a little bit spooky, but it's not scary, and we truly enjoyed playing it. So the winner is The Legend of the Skull Witch.
Next up, we have Contraptions Escape Rooms in Fort Collins, Colorado, which is about an hour north of Denver. Contraptions produced a game called Plight of the Margot, which is a two-part game, two 90-minute segments meant to be played consecutively. So this is essentially a big 3-hour escape game. It feels like Star Trek. It feels like you are on a starship. You are dealing with moral and scientific problems and aliens, and there's so much going on. It tells a great story. The puzzles are seriously challenging. This is a player's game. We absolutely love this game. The other thing about it that was so cool is that the engineering of the space was top-notch. It felt like industrial engineering. Like nothing we picked up felt like just another escape room prop. This thing was super solid. If you punch it, it will hurt you. There is some news about Contraptions, and that is that the company is for sale. This has nothing to do with the quality of the games, but a personal decision made by the owners. So this game is available for someone to buy. We really would love for it to find a home because these are truly special games. If you have questions or want to inquire, please contact Contraptions directly. It's their business, and we're not middlemen here, but we do want to make sure that someone takes these games because they are something truly special.
Yeah. We can applaud for that. The next winner is Decode Ypsilanti in Ypsilanti, Michigan, which is a really cool name of town. And the game is the Aurora Society. This game was such a complete and cohesive game. And it wasn't just the game. From the moment you walked into this facility, your entire experience was a part of their world. This game had a couple of different parts. They all felt differently, felt like different pieces of one whole. Had really neat gameplay, and it was just really fun. And they added a little detail after we'd finished this game that was just so special and such a part of this world. They didn't have to do it. They did it anyway, and it was great. And so the winner is the Aurora Society.
Next up, we have Rabbit Hole Recreation Services in Louisville, Colorado. We could have flipped a coin on which game was going to win from Rabbit Hole because they are just making great stuff there. But in the end, we decided to give it to Paradox. Paradox is a game that feels like Doctor Who's TARDIS and the point-and-click series, The Room, had a baby, and if that's what this thing is. It has tons of incredibly cool interfaces and unusual puzzles that just fit right at home in this space. It's a great adventure, it's a beautiful game, and we had a blast at it.
We wanted to take a minute before we go on to the next set of winners to thank all of you who are here, many of you are our Patreon supporters or have supported us in many other ways this year, and we thank you so much for that support. And also to all of our Patreon supporters who are watching, we want to say thank you. This has really become a community for us. A lot of the tech that's here tonight to make this work is because of our Patreon supporters. We needed a fix this morning. We asked Patreon supporters, and someone came through for us. It's really been a lovely community, a place where we can bounce ideas off people. People can find teammates, other people have shared interests, and so we would encourage you, if you are watching this and you read our site and you like our content, to please support us and through Patreon and support our mission for this industry. And now, back to winning games. So the most requested game from our Patreon supporters and from many other people who wrote into us this year, the company that people really wanted us to visit was Doldricks Escape Room in Orlando. And we finally got to Orlando, and it didn't disappoint. So the winning game was Captain Spoopy Bones and the Magnificent Quest for Some Other Pirate's Treasure. Captain Spoopy Bones is an awesome character. Doldricks has a way, they have a unique voice that brings their characters to life. This game was 75 minutes. It was an adventure. It had really great gameplay. It had brilliant moments, and it was so funny. It was just silly the whole time, and we sort of giggled our way through this game, and it was great. And I agree with everybody who wrote into us and said, go to Orlando and visit this company. When you go there, play all their games. They're all great. And so the winner.
Next up, we have something very different. We have Escape Room Family from Cincinnati, Ohio. Now, I have to be honest, when we showed up at Escape Room Family, we were feeling just a tad bit cynical. We were pretty certain we were about to go and play a game made for kids, and that the review was just going to say exactly what anyone would expect, which is it was fine, especially if you have kids. Turned out we were very wrong. But we didn't notice that quite immediately either. We set foot into Castle Adventure, and if our lag will allow us, you'll be able to see this. We saw a very brightly colored, not particularly expensive build out, and it was delightful. We had so much fun. There were puzzles for people of every age and ability, from real young to older and skilled, and throughout the entire game, we were constantly earning little foam balls that we had to throw up into a large basket that then dumped them down into a tube where we scored points. And it was frenetic and energetic and joyous to play this game. We had so much fun, and one of the puzzles that we encountered in there is, to this day, one of the hardest puzzles we've ever seen in any escape room ever. It was fair, it was just ridiculously hard. And that was something that was really special about this place, is that they captured the entire range, and their use of a scoring system made it work. And in the end, we all won medals, which is a nice touch.
We really like the games that are interesting and different, like Castle Adventure. We also really like when companies capture just the essence of a traditional escape room really, really well. And that's what Michigan Escape Room did. They're in Clinton Township outside of Detroit, and the winning game is the Infirmary. The Infirmary had a really cool set. It was weathered. It was a little bit haunting. It was a little bit creepy game, but not scary. And the gameplay just worked really well. And they took sort of typical escape room concepts. They put their own twists on things. And we just had a ton of fun playing through this game. And this game made us think about, like, this is why we loved escape rooms so much. When they just flow like this, and they're just so exciting and so fun to play. And so the winner is the Infirmary.
Next up, we have Codex in Laval, Quebec, Canada. Codex is a newer company, and we played one of their first two games, The Night of the Wolf and Serpent. This game was gorgeous, painstakingly handmade. The starscape that was above this game was handmade. I cannot imagine how much effort it took them to do this. It's a beautiful game from a really clever company, and we're really excited to see what else they have cooking.
Also in Montreal, we visited Escaparium and we played many games with this company across multiple locations. The game that's going to win from them is The Wizard 4 and the Rise of Lord Thulsa, also known as Wizard Gloves, not to be confused with Wizard Wands, which is a different really cool game. What we loved about Wizard Gloves was how we each had these powers, and we could each have our heroic moment in this game, but also all these powers interplayed, and we could really feel like a team going to battle against a mythical beast in this game. And that dynamic working together was really fun, and so that's the winner.
Next up, we have Sauve Qui Peut, which is outside of Montreal, a little bit of a ways outside of Montreal. And we loved everything that we played at this place, but we were particularly taken with Wrath of Poseidon, which started off in a submarine and seemed like it was going to be just like every other submarine-based escape room that we have. Excellent car alarm. Everyone? So, it seemed like it was going to be just like every other submarine-based escape room that we've encountered, except in addition to being nice, there was a plot twist in the middle of all of this that completely changed the nature of the game that we were playing. I don't want to say too much more, but I will say that this was a truly immersive adventure and one that I highly recommend experiencing if you have a chance.
And that takes us to our 2020 Escape Room Tour location. Those last three games were from Montreal, and Montreal is a wonderful escape room market. It's artsy, it's fun, there are a lot of different companies there, they're doing cool stuff. Had 3 winners tonight, and so we have a tour going to Montreal in June. This is going to be our biggest tour yet, and it's sold out. Tickets, it's sold out. Tickets went really fast for this, which is super exciting, and we can't wait to see many of you, both here in the room and also watching in Montreal. It's going to be a ton of fun. But if you missed the boat on Montreal, it's okay, because there's another tour. We're going to be running on April 5th, Escape Immerse Explore the Hayden Farm. Where is the Hayden Farm? It is at 13th Hour Escape Rooms in Wharton, New Jersey. This is not to be confused with 13th Gate Escape in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Both companies are companies that run haunted houses and have taken to making escape rooms and do it really well. 13th Hour does a great job, and they have created the Hayden Farm at their facility, and all of their rooms are part of the world of the Hayden Farm, and they have the characters and their stories and their spaces. They're a little bit creepy. They have incredible sets. They have great moments. They have really played with scale in some of these games. They're using space really well. And they're hard to get to, because Wharton, New Jersey isn't the most accessible, especially from Manhattan. It seems close, but it's far, so we're running a bus. So if you can get to Manhattan, or you live in Manhattan, or you live anywhere around there, and you want to play these games with people who are going to love them as much as you're going to love them, then come out to our tour on April 5th, Escape Immerse Explore the Hayden Farm. Tickets are on sale now on Room Escape Artist.
And as we close out, I want to share just a quick thought on the nature of awards of all different types when it comes to escape rooms. Whether it's a Golden Lock or a Turpica or any other list or rating or highly recommended game, my advice to you is to go off and find your own magic. Don't go trying to seek what someone else experienced. Don't go trying to figure out why something was rated a particular number. Don't go trying to capture the magic that we have. because that magic is gone. It left with us. It's in us now. Go off and find what is going to be special to you. And if you like it more than we liked it, awesome. If you like it less than we liked it, that's okay too. If you find something amazing, share it with the community. Don't insist that everyone else has to experience the magic in the exact same way that you did. Have your own adventures with people that you care about and you enjoy playing these games with. That's the best way that I've found to go off and have these adventures. We hope you have many of them.
And to close, first, we really want to thank Brendan and Teresa, who you can't see on camera right now, but who are running the show from behind the scenes. We want to thank everybody who came out and everybody who's watching. If you enjoyed our Golden Lock live stream, you can read all about it in like a couple of minutes. We're going to publish the blog post on Room Escape Artists so you can see links to the reviews of these games and photos of these games and a couple of other thoughts that we wrote about them. So that'll all be published soon. We encourage you to subscribe. We publish daily. You can follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. All of our post there. You can support us on Patreon, and you can also follow us on Instagram, where we share other things that are not the same as the blog posts. So, thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.